Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll see what's going on. I'll give you my financial opinion. We'll walk through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and through all the other commodities that I follow. So let's dive in here, let you know what my opinions are. Again, we've got the DXY, the relative strength indicator. We are playing with this breakout here where we've come on up. We put a wick at the top last month. This month, we're still above it, but is this thing going to turn or are we going to head higher? I don't have the answer. I don't have predictive powers, but it does look like it's slowing down. That's why you get a wick at the top. You get sellers to come in there. It didn't close strong. And we've got a little bit more of a contraction of the opening and closing price throughout the month. So we'll have to see how this month ends out. We're only halfway through it. The weekly candlesticks, we've got a little bit more selling pressure with this day here, but it is bouncing today. So we'll have to see, or I should say this week, I should say. It's bouncing this week, not day. And we have to see if we continue higher with it. I'm not really making any bets on the dollar itself or the DXY. But looking on the dailies, this looks more bearish to me. You got this nice kind of selling pressure down. It's struggling to go higher. We had a nice big move lower, but today, out of nowhere, kind of, we've got a lot of buying pressure. It's a lot stronger today than what it was. So someone is either converting into dollars or dumping bonds, because we do have stronger 10-year and 30-year yields. And they're selling bonds and converting it to dollars. Will this be temporary? I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out here, but I'm not making any bets on the DXY or anything like that. We've got the 10-year yield going higher and finishing quite strong today. It is surprising me a little bit. We had a nice, good little wick at the top last time. We had good resistance above this guy. It looked like it was going to head lower, but look, we are heading on higher. More people are selling bonds, pushing yields higher in the short term. TLT, bond prices selling off to the downside. And then the TYX, which is the 30-year yield, the yield is going on higher with that as well. So nice, strong uptrend here. That is not abating at this time. And when you look at the relationship of the 30-year yield in relationship to the 10-year yield, this ratio, when this goes down, your curve on the longer end is inverting. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing an inverted yield curve. So with the data today, the 10-year went up greater than the 30-year, which is inverting more so. It's still inverting. And gold does not like a inverting yield curve. So when we look at this from a big picture view, guys, gold likes it when this goes up. It hates it when it goes down. And it did not like it when it goes down here. So I'm looking at this. We are still heading lower. I think there's more left in it. And I think the big driver of it is oil on the big picture view. Oil is the translation of money into the system getting converted into the consumer price index to some degree because it impacts everything. I mean, obviously, the CPI, there's other things in it like housing and stuff like that. But energy is a big driver of that component, and we are continuing to head a little bit lower. The CRB index lower today. We're back at that support level, and we've got a little bit more selling pressure today. This could head lower with that selling pressure. So right now, I don't know if we've bottomed. We could come back to this area back there, 265, and do kind of that double bottom type pattern. We've got gold heading lower today. Again, we don't like that. Gold doesn't like the inverted yield curve. Inverted yield curves usually mean that you're in an inflationary period and that short-term rates are still increasing. So that's lower for gold. It was a strong finish to the downside today. And that also carried over to silver, which is back at this support level. This support level here, 1815, we're basically tapping it today. Personally, I like it down there. That's me. and it's a long-term big support level at 1815. And we're right on top of that support. We've bounced off it a couple of times. Are we going to break down below it? And is it going to stay down there for a long period of time? Those are all things that I don't have the answer to, but I can tell you silver's cheap. I can tell you platinum's cheap. And I can tell you that we're at support. That's what I can tell you. Platinum heading higher today, bucking the trend. This guy wants to break higher. I obviously drew that when it was on a logarithmic, or it wasn't on logarithmic. It was on a monthly candlestick close that I was drawing this just to see where it's at. And we're right there trying to break out on a monthly candlestick close. The dailies, we are up a little bit with a little bit of a wick at the top. But more or less, I mean, this is a strong showing for platinum in relationship to all the other assets that are basically getting mutilated out there. But this is my favorite asset, platinum, from a precious metals perspective, and it's looking real good. XAU to gold ratio heading lower today. Still in this big megaphone pattern, chopping around, not knowing which direction to go. When we look at SILJ, we are down 5.5% or so with that, and we're still above the support level. So nothing's a foul yet, but we are heading a little bit lower, and it did finish quite strong to the downside. GDX also heading lower, strong to the downside, and that could potentially hit this support. We're in a support, I should say a support region. This entire region where I've got these two white lines is in a support region. Doesn't mean it can't break below it, but that's where all your support is. Scrolling down to the crude oil. Crude oil down 3.7%. A little bit more bearish today. We had a nice good pop yesterday, but today, man, it really took the wind out of the sails today. I do think it's going to head lower, and hopefully we can come back and do a retest around 80 bucks. That's what I'm hoping for. I want to buy more down there if it can give me one last buying opportunity. Again, like a lot, I've been talking about the platinum members on the website and everything. They're going to try to push this lower. They're doing everything they can to keep this thing down. So we'll see what they do with Strategic Petroleum Reserve releases. We'll see what they do with whatever they can do to push this lower in the short term here. It's in their best interest to push it lower. Natural gas also heading lower. It's not really a reversal candlestick. We're just kind of bottoming out in this general vicinity. If we take a detour down here, that's also good, as I'd love to buy some of my favorite natural gas companies. XOP, yeah, you know me, getting a little bit more selling pressure. We're coming up on that resistance line. The resistance line, well, here's the first one. The first one is this guy here. We've got good resistance there. We're trying to break through it. We've got another larger resistance line that I can carry across here if I want. Goes all the way through there. That's a big resistance line at $174. So we're coming on up. We're getting some resistance here. And I think that people are buying XOP. You can see it come on up. And if you were to do an XOP to crude oil ratio, what you're going to see there is a breakout, and you're going to see an outperformance of XOP in relationship to the underlying commodity of crude oil. We are heading higher here. Let's get that guy out of the picture. We're heading higher here. We have the two bloody little noses on a monthly candlestick basis. What this is doing is people are loading and buying into this, and they're waiting for the crude oil price to go higher before this launches. That's my take on it, at least. I think this looks absolutely beautiful for a move higher. With time, after November, December timeframe. Looking at OIH, another one that I like a lot is energy service companies. We've got that bloody chest, bloody nose, a little bit accentuated to the downside. Usually they're kind of small and they're more towards the top of the body. Or you get a bloody forehead, you hit your forehead on something. It's just a small down day. But we got a little bit more of a bloody chest, however you want to call it. We still have that big bullish engulfing of the ones before it. I'm still bullish over the short to medium term. I still like it. That's OIH. Looking down at uranium, uranium was higher in terms of its future pricing. It's starting to move on up. Now, we've got the overall markets puking. We've got higher 10-year, 30-year yields. We've got higher dollar. And stocks don't like that. They don't like that. But uranium doesn't care. It's going higher. The Sprott Physical Uranium Trust down a little bit today. Bloody nose. That's the bloody nose for a continuation pattern to the upside. So that still looks good from that perspective. URNM getting a little bit more, getting a little bit more drunk here, selling off a little bit more than the others, but we're still above the support line. It's still, I mean, this is a reversal candlestick. We really want to see what happens next trading. Maybe we pull a little bit back here before heading higher. I don't mind the volatility. I don't mind going up and down. It just gives me more opportunities to buy things. But today is a little bit more of a selling pressure day. We'll have to see how this plays out. We've had a lot of arm wrestling between yesterday and today with volatility. Very, very volatile. And I'm just holding on. CCJ not looking too hot. It has got a bearish engulfing where we could potentially head a little bit to the downside here. Can this break and go lower? It's possible. It's possible. And the catalyst was a raising of money. Looking at TAN, TAN is selling off just like the rest of the group. It is a reversal candlestick where we could potentially head lower. So we went with a bullish piercing into a bearish piercing. And really, it's a struggle between the buyers and sellers in the short term. This is where things get difficult. When the volatility kicks way up, some of your signals are going to shift back and forth rapidly. Buy signal, sell signal, buy signal, sell signal. From the short-term signals of candlesticks. Long term, it still looks all right from a long-term perspective. This could go all the way back down to, this support level down here, $48 or so, somewhere in that range. Does not like higher yields. I can tell you that. COPX also heading a little bit lower, down 3.26. We've got a nice big bullish engulfing yesterday. Now we've got a bearish piercing. What's going to win here? You can just take a guess on this volatility, guys. I would say that it's this setup here, nice big buying pressure, small pullback that looks bullish to me. But today, what the heck was today, right? More selling pressure, bearish engulfing. I wouldn't have expected that. I was hoping for a little bit more buying pressure and a small little down day today. But we didn't get as much buying pressure as I thought. CRB index to S&P 500 still down a little bit. I still think this may go down a teeny bit. This is a inverted bloody nose, if you want to look at it from that perspective. Platinum killing it, guys, on the ratios. REMX, bullish engulfing yesterday, bearish engulfing today. We'll see where this goes. This is buyers and sellers dueling it out. They're duking it back and forth. We'll see where this heads. We've got lithium also doing the same thing. Bullish piercing to a bearish piercing. Where is this going to go? It's highly volatile. And we're right above support. We're right above support. The S&P 500 getting kicked in the nads, down 2.37%. Nobody likes getting kicked in the nads. I'll say that. So we got a big bullish engulfing yesterday. Then we got a bearish piercing today. Where is this going to go? Good question. Short-term wise, we'll see where this takes us. Usually what happens is this kind of comes and it goes higher. That's the move. We got the small down candlesticks, the large up buying pressure day to day. And this is an over-accentuated bloody nose, hopefully, where we head higher. Hopefully. But again, we'll see. NASDAQ's got the same kind of contagion. It's bigger selling pressure today. And the setup looks good before it for a move higher, but we'll see. EEM, stronger dollar, weaker EEM. Again, we'll see if this is a move to the upside. If it's just a head fake, bloody nose continuation pattern, just a massive bloody nose bleeding everywhere. XHB. Now this has got more of a bearish engulfing pattern to it. So we've got two great forces over these past 2 days fighting each other. We've got the short side and the long side beating each other up with the volatility. So this is a broken down trend line. It's coming back to that support level. Usually that works its way higher if you've broken a downtrend. But today, you know, it's got a lot of pressure behind it. I didn't think we had that many sellers down here. I'll just say that. Lumber getting the bloody nose. That does look like it wants to go higher. That looks actually really good. Nickel is continuing its consolidation. I believe JP Morgan said that they're going to control the nickel market a while back. When somebody went bust, they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Cocoa futures, slightly lower with the bloody nose. Looks like it's a continuation pattern to the upside. Wheat getting a little bit more selling pressure here. We could see lower wheat prices with this bearish engulfing. We've got soybeans. I still think this could head lower just based off of the momentum coming back in this section here. There's not any buying pressure to really show me that the buyers are there and it's ready to go higher. Corn, it's right at that resistance level. We'll see if we can break. And then we've got a bearish engulfing where we could potentially head a little bit lower in copper. But remember, this doesn't mean that we know how long it's going to last. This is a bearish engulfing here. We had one down day and we're going sideways. We might have a little bit more left before we head higher. So that's copper there. We've got Moo getting big up day, big down day right next to it. We'll see which way this goes. The buyers and sellers are battling it out here. We have broken this downtrend line. It's not a strong downtrend line, though. So that's that there. We've got aluminum heading a little bit higher today. That one's looking good. It's bouncing off support. That support level is that big white line going across. There it is right there going across, and we're getting a nice good bounce off of it. So that looks actually beneficial. And notice the companies are all down. Baltic Dry Index also right on support, and we'll see if that support line holds. So that's what we've got for today. Lots of selling pressure today. It looks like we could potentially head lower in some of these commodities. Lots of volatility here. Big up days, big down days. Hold on. You know, some people say as the volatility kicks up, liquidity is drying up a little bit. That's what a lot of people say when we see these types of volatile movements. But that's what we have in the markets today. I'm riding through it. Doesn't change anything with my strategy. And I'll get another clip out here. I'll talk about market conditions, talk about inflation and that stuff in another clip, probably released tomorrow. So that's what I've got, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys need help navigating through this commodity bull market, I can definitely help you. Subscribe to the Finding Value website, Platinum membership. We have a question and answer session for the Platinum members tomorrow at Saturday, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can come in there and ask whatever questions. I'll answer whatever I can. We do look at some of the charts. I try to explain what I see in the markets. The charts are the data, and what I might see as inventory levels are either increasing, depleting, and what they look like. We don't actually look at the inventory levels there. We do look at them sometimes, but I still think all the big drivers are still intact, but we're getting a lot of volatility in the short term. This is a pain to ride through. I get it. I'm there with you. And hopefully the volatility calms down a little bit. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.